might not know this. A lot of them don't know this. But it ain't y'all fault that y'all don't know this. When y'all see dudes flexing, online with a whole bunch of money in their hand, and you don't know how they getting it, and you know that they ain't got the income to provide to show that they got their money in a good way, then you need to understand that that's the plug's money. That's the plug's money. Unless this person living on the big house on the big hill, that's the plug's money. That's the plug's money. And by that, what I mean is, be careful who you take from. Sometimes you think that a quick get up for you is a win. But in reality, sometimes that quick get up for you is a loss. I'll tell you what I mean by that. Let's say that you in class, right? And let's say that you go out of your classroom. It's a class full of peers that you have. Let's say you go out of your classroom and you go into the hall. Let's say you in the hall. Let's say you so happen to walk past a basket full of apples. So you walk past the basket full of apples and you say, hey, I think I'm gonna take this apple. Nobody's around. So you take the apple. Meanwhile, you get back in the classroom after enjoying that apple, making sure nobody see any evidence of you taking that apple, of course, because hey, why would you want other people to know that you took an apple? So after you enjoyed the apple that you took, you get back in your classroom, you're having a good day. You're having a real good day. And then your teacher tell you, hey class, we got an important presentation today. Billy brought in a box. And in that box, it contained apples. But in that box of apples, there was a poisonous apple. A bad apple, as you will. An apple that would cause not death, but an apple that would cause discomfort. Possibly death. So they take the apple and they bring them up to the front of the class. Now the boy tells everybody that it's a surefire way to tell which apple is the bad apple. And people want to know, out of the whole basket of apples, how could you possibly tell which apple is the bad apple? How could you possibly tell? And they said it's easy. It's really easy. You see, the bad apple stands out apart from the rest. The bad apple is more noticeable than the rest. So, if you look at the apples long enough, and you take your time and look at each apple, then you should be able to recognize the difference between the good apples and the bad apple. Interested, the class wanted to know more. So he said, I want everybody to take an apple. They started to pass the apples out around the class. Getting near the end, they noticed that it's one apple left. But it's two people left. How could that be so? I stood up all night working on this assignment to make sure that I was accurate and I had the appropriate amount of apples for the class. Nervous. Very nervous. The boy that didn't get an apple so happens to be the boy that stole an apple. And he's sitting there with a puzzled look on his face, wondering, hoping that they don't recognize that he took the apple, but instead feeding into the fact that, yeah, where's my apple? The shorter apple. Whole time, not knowing. That it was an experiment to begin with, to see how you'll perform under pressure. You see, there was a camera in the hall directed towards the apples. As simple as that. There's a camera in the hall directed towards the apples. Sometimes you think you're getting away with stuff. Sometimes you think you got away with something. Meanwhile, there was a camera in the hall the whole time, watching. And they saw you take that apple.